The object of Taxi Chronicles is to allow real riders with real stories, share their experience and enhance your life. So sit back and enjoy the journey. Morning. Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Today we have I'm not sure if you call it a sequel, but yesterday we interviewed a lady and it was about her yoga, and now we're going to interview her about her CrossFit and her nutrition that she's an expert in. So nice to have you with us today, Gabie.
Thank you.
So tell us, how long have you been doing a CrossFit?
I actually haven't been doing CrossFit.
Wasn't you doing CrossFit training? Were you doing that kind of weights training?
No, I did that when I was younger in the gym a lot. But
okay,
yeah,
that's what we're talking about here.
Much.
We want to know about when you did it when you were younger. What it was
well.
like, what it is, because that kind of combines in with your nutrition, because you're using a lot of muscles, a lot's going on. So what attracted you to that kind of form of training?
I think it was a machine that I just felt, I don't know, I was really just quite drawn to that machine. I'm not a runner, and the running machine was something that I just can't do. I have a breathing problem, so the CrossFit was just something that I liked, the fact that it had the arms and the legs at the same time to be able to train.
Oh, okay. So you were doing pull-ups and all of those. How long did it take you to be able to do pull-ups?
I can't remember. I think I was able to do them fairly quickly.
Without the band?
Without the band. There was a time where I was able to do like about 40.
Head over the bar?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were really going for it then?
Yeah, it helps that I'm little.
Well, you still got to lift something, isn't it? Regardless of being little.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you really... So what if you had to just talk someone through that technique of pull-ups, how would you describe it? What would you tell them? How should their body be synced with their mind and spirit?
I think breathing is a huge aspect to it, and so the breathing technique is something that should be considered. And then in terms of the actual pull-ups themselves, I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure on the pull-ups, because I do like a lot of yoga now. It's a lot more. I work a lot more with like body weight, and so it's been a while since I've done the pull-up techniques.
Okay, that's interesting. When you were doing weights, what was your main, or free weights, that kind of training? What was your main activity apart from the jogging?
Main activity with the weights, I did a lot of weight training with my dad, actually, and we would just go to the gym and we would use a lot of the machines.
So your dad was a trigger.
Yeah. It was fun to.
So Daddy was what? Did Daddy used to be a bodybuilder or something?
Not quite a bodybuilder, but he's a strong guy. Yeah, and I don't know, I think when we would go to the gym together, I would see him on the weight machines, and then I remember asking him, like, oh, can you show me like some of the weight machines? And then I think that's where I kind of got into doing the weight training was with him.
How do you feel when you're doing that kind of workout?
I love it. I mean, it's very very like endorphin driven. Yeah. And I think it feels very like, I feel very accomplished when I can go up a weight, but then also having to balance that with ego, because oftentimes I would think that I could do more than I could, but I think now I'm a little bit more sensible with it.
Okay, I hear you. So how do you go through the process of increasing weights? Because I suppose many people have gone there and they've gone to the gym, they've looked at these weights and they've got, Rah! And I thought, yes, and then tomorrow they're like, oh. So how do you overcome that, and how do you make the judgment to what to lift and when to lift and how to lift?
I would say slow and steady and consistency is definitely important, and also kind of meeting the practice where you're at on that particular day, because some days we'll wake up and we'll feel really low energy and we still want to go to the gym and want to do that weight training, but maybe that's just a day that we have to go for the lower weight, even like a weight below what we're currently working at. It's still, we're still training, but just within the range of what the body is able to do that day. And then other days we'll be more in the mood for a challenge and we'll feel more up for that, and maybe we want to try doing that extra weight. But I'd say consistency is key, and recovery is also super important. I mean, 5 days of working out a week, but 2 days of rest is really important. That, I mean, when we're lifting weights, we're literally tearing the muscle and damaging the muscle. And so then we need that recovery time so that the muscle can repair. And then we practice again, the muscle tears, it recovers, and that's kind of how we can keep improving.
I'm with you. You talk about recovery and you talk about the days of rest. Do you slot, is it like every 2 or 3 days and then a day's rest, and 2 or 3 days a day's rest, or is it 5 days straight and then 2 days rest?
I think it's probably advisable to have 1 day of rest every like 2-3 days. But then again, I think it's also what works for the individual. Some people just have a schedule where it makes sense to go to the gym 5 days a week after work or something like that, and then to have the weekend to rest. Whereas other people might be able to have that rest day a little bit more interspersed.
Okay, that's good. So with all of that kind of training, you need nutrition. And on your rest days, obviously, do you just sit down and rest and not do anything, or do you do a light swim or a light walk or just a stretching session? And what kind of food do you eat?
I would say on the rest days, there's certain activities which are still great to do, you know, going on walks and stretching. I think is just super important, especially around weight training. And then in terms of food to eat, I would say, you know, if people are really working towards increasing muscle, then protein is important for that muscle repair. Carbohydrates are really important to be able to get that energy that we need to be able to work out. Quick digesting carbohydrates before a workout,
And fluids, what was the kind of fluids was it like no coffee, just fruit juice and water?
I'd say water, definitely a main one. I know that there are some people who do use caffeine for their workouts, but it's not something that I really consider when working out. But yeah, water's definitely a big one, super important.
With the water, do you put lime in there or anything like that? A slice of lime?
Could do. Yeah, can do. Lime and lemon and water actually activates the digestive system, so that one's a great way to start the day.
Oh, I learned something today. That's a good tip, thank you. I appreciate that. You transferred over to yoga. How was that transition?
It was difficult at the time. I think I had quite an unhealthy relationship with like my body and with the gym, and so yeah, yoga was just very meditative and have to take your time and really think about what you're doing, and practicing with ego is it's difficult. It's difficult in a yoga class to kind of, when we're new to it and we're looking around, and if we're in a classroom with people who have been practicing for a while, I think it's really easy to start comparing ourselves to the people who are in the class. But actually, yoga is so much about like how it feels for the individual, because what someone else is able to do with their body is not going to be the same as what I can do, because we just have different anatomy and different challenges. Like I have 2 herniated discs and really tight hamstrings, so I can't straighten my legs in downward facing dog despite having been practicing for a decade now.
Really?
So yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Certain poses that I just can't do and won't be able to, and that's okay. There are other poses that are fun to explore.
Have you ever thought of trying, I don't know if you have, trying those kind of stretches in the steam room when your muscles are fully relaxed? Or sauna? So that's what I stretch when I finish training in the gym, whether I've done Muay Thai, free weights, or just a treadmill session, something like that. Then I do a swim session to allow my body to soak up much fluids as possible water-wise, obviously hydrating. And I go in the sauna and the steam room and the jacuzzi. And in the sauna and steam room, I just do stretches. I do it for about 20 minutes, stretches.
Kind of reminiscent of hot yoga.
Yeah.
It reminds me of hot yoga, yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking, you tried that in that sense of stretching?
I've tried hot yoga before, And when I'm in the steam room, I do feel like the need to stretch. It just feels a little bit different. Everything feels a little bit more relaxed. Hot yoga, though, I found that one to be a challenge. Like, before the class even started, I was sat on the mat and I was like, my ears are sweating. I didn't even know that was possible.
Yes, it can happen. Believe me, I know. So, do nutrition plans for people right now, is that right?
So I work for a company. We make personalised programs for people with different health issues, health conditions. We make programs for people who are overweight, who need support in their weight loss, for people who are diabetic or pre-diabetic. Different programs that we offer people.
Give us examples of the kind of things that you would have to design. What would be in there designing for somebody?
So the programs are generally personalised towards the goals. So for example, in our weight management program, we try and teach like all of the fundamentals of what consists of a healthy, balanced diet, intermixed with a lot of behavioural change therapy. So techniques that basically help people to start at the level that they're at. Because everyone has their different challenges in life. You know, a single mum of 3 is going to have a different lifestyle and a different method to approaching their health goals than, I don't know, like an 18-year-old who's at uni and has access to a gym. It's just very different, different challenges.
I see what you mean. Yeah, that's very interesting. Where can people find you if they want to deal with your nutrition?
Sure, so the company that I work for is called Oviva. So people can actually, in the UK, you can talk to your doctor for a referral to find out more about Oviva and what we offer.
Okay, but you don't do anything personally?
I have a few articles online. If people type in my name, Whole Health Gabie, I'm sure a few articles will pop up. Can learn about different aspects of nutrition and different yoga practices, breathing exercises, meditation.
And the Whole Health Gabie is for your social media, your IG?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thanks a lot, and we wish you well.
Thank you so much.
We hope that episode enhanced your life. We post an interview every day as well as vlogging on our social media channels. Don't forget to subscribe to get our latest episode.